Good morning. I'm Randy Schwartz, the Interim Director of BioInc at New York Medical College, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome each of you and thank you for attending this exciting event. All of us at Touro and New York Medical College are aware of the demands on your time, and we are extremely appreciative that you are here today to celebrate with us the opening of the Hudson Valley's first and only biotechnology incubator located on a medical school campus. As each of you recognize, one of the most exciting developments in healthcare today is this new synergy between entrepreneurs and biotechnology research and development. Here at New York Medical College and Touro, we are bringing together the resources of one of the nation's oldest and finest healthcare universities, cutting-edge core facilities, along with the knowledge and experience of nationally recognized scientists, clinicians, and our students, making them available to the entrepreneurial and business community in Westchester County and the entire Hudson Valley. Adding to this mix will be the excellent management and financial acumen that has become associated with Touro and New York Medical College community, its administration, and schools and colleges. It is certainly my hope, and all of us at New York Medical College and Touro, that in future years we will be able to look back at today and say this was the start of our partnership with the area's governmental and business leaders to successfully diversify our region's economy by creating a strong, high-tech industry base, along with building a strong entrepreneurial culture. On a personal note, it has been an exciting time for me, as I've been able to work with many people throughout not only Touro and New York Medical College, but throughout the country to help develop BioInc at New York Medical College. I've learned a great deal and have come to appreciate the styles that define today's management and planning. This experience, supported by, I'm sure, many of your own personal experiences, has pointed out to me that there are 6 stages in the planning of a major project like this. First is enthusiasm, disillusionment, panic, search for the guilty, punishment of the innocent, and praise and honors for the non-participants. But with all humor aside, I have to say that it's been a privilege to be involved with the development of this important project. Given the leadership of the board at Touro College University, as well as the board of New York Medical College, its president, Dr. Alan Kadish, its chancellor and CEO, Dr. Edward Halpern, specifically their commitment to excellence, all of us involved with the project have had the support needed to make today become a reality. Speaking for our entire team, I want to thank each of them. After all our remarks are concluded, it's important to emphasize that the ultimate beneficiaries of our efforts will be the citizens and business community of our region and state. We all believe that BioInc at New York Medical College will indeed make a difference. But enough from me. I would now like to introduce Dr. Alan Kadish, President and CEO of Touro College and University System and President of New York Medical College.
Thank you very much, Randy. This is indeed a great day. And I'm going to let Dr. Halpern thank most of our guests, but I would be remiss if I didn't begin by acknowledging 2 different groups of people. One is the Empire State Development Corporation. New York State helped fund the project that we've built here today. Startup New York, we hope, along with BSD, will continue to catalyze business development in Westchester and at New York Medical College. We're thrilled to have representatives of both organizations here today, and we're extraordinarily appreciative of what the state has done to help us with this incubator and to help us with development. I also want to thank representatives of the town, Westchester County legislator, and executive for their help in making this possible. We've needed every one of you, and we really appreciate it. And as I said, I'm going to leave it back to Halpern to acknowledge you each by name. Finally, Randy and Rob Amler, who helped catalyze and begin this project internally, along with everyone else you'll hear about, have been invaluable in making today happen. So what are we trying to accomplish here? As a nation, we're still facing many challenges to healthcare, epidemics like Ebola, and Kevin Plunkett let me know that there's an Ebola conference going on literally across the street today. Compounding factors of poverty, difficulty in access to healthcare, and a U.S. economy that's still recovering quite slowly. But both in healthcare and education, we believe firmly that we, as a country and as an institution, have the possibility of being the best in the world. And our goal is to use the unique partnerships we're developing here at the incubator to help catalyze success economically, practically, to improve the lives of people in Westchester, in the towns around here, and through scientific advances around the world. We think that we've got a unique opportunity for interaction between our students, our faculty, young and more experienced entrepreneurs who can help develop the next generation of advances. And we're here today to celebrate the opening of the incubator that we hope will make all that possible. There's an interesting expression in one part of the Bible, a book called Ecclesiastes, which has been attributed by tradition to King Solomon, which says the following: two are better than one, but a threefold partnership can never be dissolved. And we view what's going on here as a threefold partnership. Partnership between the elected officials, the administration of the state, county, and town, business development leaders, young entrepreneurs, and New York Medical College. With the help of everyone here, with the excitement and innovation of our students, our faculty, our business community, our neighbors, and some great science, we think great things really can happen here. And we're thrilled that you've all come here to be a part of it. Thank you all for coming. We hope you enjoy the rest of the program and a bit of a tour. And we hope to see you back here annually for a demonstration of the progress we've made. Thanks a lot. I guess I'm supposed to introduce the Chancellor and Chief Executive Officer of New York Medical College, Dr. Edward Halpern. Dr. Halpern has been with us for about 3 years now. He's done a tremendous job innovating and improving what was already a great place, and we're thrilled to have him. Edward.
Good morning, everyone. We are joined this morning by many public officials. I will introduce those I know to be in attendance, and perhaps when I announce you, you can raise your hand so you can be seen. The former governor of the state of New York, David Paterson. United States Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is represented by Sarah Reingold. New York State Senator Andrea Stewart-Cousins. Assemblyman David Buchwald. Assemblywoman Sandy Galiff. Assemblywoman Shelley Mayer. Leslie Waitley, Executive Vice President of Startup New York. Assemblyman Steve Katz is represented by his Chief of Staff, Nancy Kalpfel. The Deputy County Executive of Westchester County, Kevin Plunkett. John Gilstrap, Vice President, Empire State Development. Legislator Michael Smith. Monique Legendre, Empire State Development. Jim Coleman, Westchester IDA. Phil Mooney III, Director, Westchester County Economic Development. Joanne Deo, Vice President of Facilities of Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, representing the Chief Executive Officer of the company. Dr. Marsha Gordon, President and CEO of the Business Council of Westchester and a member of the Business Economic Development. Marissa Brett, President, Westchester County Association, Founding Executive Director of Blueprint Accelerator. Larry Gottlieb, President and CEO of the Hudson Valley Economic Development Corporation. Les Newman, CEO of iCAN New York and iCAN-Global. And Ruben Saul and Joseph DeRaggio of Westchester Community College Professional Development Center. Sabra Brock, Dean of the Touro Graduate School of Business. Dean Amler told me I couldn't miss as long as I didn't drop the cards and have them be randomly assorted. There is a famous story told of where I went to medical school of the microscopic anatomy professor back in the era when we all had our slides and carousels, who tripped as he went to the podium and spilled all his slides out of the carousel on the floor, proceeded to pick them up, toss them at random into the carousel and give the lecture anyway. Friends, the building and the biotechnology program and today's events are the result of the hard work of many people within and outside the college, and any list of individuals runs the risk of being incomplete, but I shall run that risk by acknowledging Dean Robert Amler, Randy Schwartz, Jennifer Reichert, Gus Stedman, Dana Lee, Tony Comas, Jerry D'Imperio, Mike Shallow, Sandra Shivers, David Rabb, and the many members of the research faculty who participated in the planning process. I believe it's also appropriate that we recognize Drs. Carl Adler and Ralph O'Connell, who began this project under their stewardship of the college. Now, friends, there is something serious I want to talk with you about for a minute this morning. There are many pessimistic people at large in America. They announce that we have not solved the myriad problems facing us, and they often fault biomedical science in general and the American healthcare system or healthcare delivery in particular. A favorite complaint of some of these people runs along the lines of government is not a solution, government is the problem. I want to think with you for a minute about that issue. 42 years ago this month, in October 1962, we all held our collective breath when President Kennedy soberly announced that the United States Navy was going to quarantine Cuba because we had identified Soviet nuclear missiles on the island. It was a harrowing 10 days in October for all of us. And then that cloud lifted, and Americans rejoiced at the impending occurrence of something that the American people had never experienced in the country's history. The First Lady was pregnant. Jackie Kennedy was pregnant. There was going to be a new infant in the White House. Americans had never had this experience. But in the summer of 1963, Mrs. Kennedy went into premature labor, and neither the Air Force doctors on Cape Cod nor the pediatric staff of Harvard's Children's Hospital of Boston could save the son of the President of the United States. Patrick Bouvier Kennedy, 5 pounds, 11.5 ounces, 5.5 weeks premature and 4 pounds, 10.5 ounces, died of lung disease of prematurity. Today, if a 4-pound, 10.5 ounce baby were to be born 5.5 weeks premature, the survival rate would approach 100% in 41 years. This morning, it's worthwhile thinking about why this remarkable improvement in survival of newborns happened. It happened because of government-funded research via the National Institutes of Health conducted at America's academic health centers and the manufacture and distribution of drugs and devices by America's biotechnology industry. That's why it happened. If you are ever pessimistic about healthcare, then think about what we have done in this country in one generation about premature infants, the identification of the cause, prevention, and treatment of Legionnaire's disease, human immunodeficiency virus, artificial joints, polio, diphtheria, colorectal cancer in adults, and most of the cancers of childhood. It is, as Dr. Kadish alluded, a team sport, ladies and gentlemen. It's a team sport. And the team is a partnership of government, academic medicine, and the biotechnology industry. Some of you are here today because we're talking about economic development and job creation, and we are, but we are talking about economic development and job creation in the context of making tomorrow better than today because the best way to predict the future of American medicine is to invent it ourselves. And we're doing that right here, right now, where great things are happening. New York Medical College in the county of Westchester in the state of New York. Welcome to our biotechnology.
Thank you, Dr. Halpern. Former Governor David Patterson is here, and he's kindly agreed to say a few words. Governor Patterson.
Good morning, I'm David Patterson. I'm a recovering governor. And it's good to be here. By the way, if your name was not mentioned, you'll probably be the one who is blamed if this all doesn't work out. Dr. Kadish, Dr. Halpern, Randy, Dr. Amler, Leader Cousins, and Assembly members Buckwall, Galef, and Mayor, and all of you who represent others, probably do all the work for them, but your names aren't mentioned, so we won't change anything now. We won't mention your names. But we appreciate that all of you are here for what is really an historic event here in New York State, the establishment of a biomedical technical incubator here on the campus of a medical college. And it is the culmination of endless work in what is really a public-private partnership through the Empire State Development Corporation and others to create this opportunity, which I think will be renowned and will be replicated all over this state and in other states. When Dr. Halpern was speaking, I was thinking about the Declaration of Independence, and then second only to freedom of speech was a discussion about the fact that when the Declaration was signed, there was a rather sporadic incident of yellow fever all over Philadelphia at that particular time. And there was a big medical dispute about quarantine versus treatment modalities, and it led to the sense of what was described as medical freedom, and that was the freedom of doctors and the freedom of people in the medical area to try to invent, to try to cure diseases, and to try to do all the things that we've accomplished in 250 years since then. And this is just another giant step forward. So congratulations to all of you who are involved, and it's really an honor to come here and witness it. Thank you.
Since we've started, it came to my attention we did miss one important congressional representative representing Congresswoman Nita Lowey, Pat Keegan. And we've been joined now by Assemblyman Tom Abbinanti, who represents this district. Tom. Senator Andrea Stewart Cousins, state senator for a number of terms, I've lost track, but since her arrival as representing what was initially a district including New York Medical College, she has been absolutely consistent year in and year out in making sure that we got the resources from New York State to make what we're doing here a reality. Senator Stewart Cousins has agreed to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is just such a pleasure to be here, Dr. Kadish and Dr. Halperin, and certainly Dr. Amler, and of course Governor Patterson, all of my assembly members, and you all in the business community, and everyone who cares about our future. When Randy was going through the steps, I was saying she forgot one step. The inevitability of change. When you change partners, when you change missions, when representatives changes, as Dr. Amler said, I represented this district when we first met, and he was talking about how we were going to create this biomedical disaster unit and how it could all happen right here. And through the push and the pull, through the constant conversations and negotiations, we got a new partner, and it was Toro College. And I remember saying, well, wait a minute, you said you were going to do this, and are they going to do that? And I wanted to see the resources go in this way, and now you've got a new dance partner. How can I be sure? And I was assured by the good leadership of the medical college and the good leadership of Toro College that the mission was going to be steady and the vision was broad, deep, inclusive, important, and wise. And guess what? Here we are with change, vision, leadership, and something that will serve not only this area, but our region, our state, and when we do it right, a model for our country. I am so happy to be part of this ongoing partnership and happy for the change. Congratulations.
Tom Abenanti began talking to us about this project when he was on the Board of Legislators of Westchester County. He then ran for and received from the voters the elected office of Assemblyman representing this district, which he continues to represent. And Mr. Abenanti has some words for us as well.
Thank you, Doctor. Good morning. First of all, I want to thank you for including me and my colleagues from the New York State Assembly, who I see here and have already been introduced, so I won't do that again. But I appreciate your recognition, which I've heard over and over again, of the appropriate role of government in making our community a better place. And people just usually think of government as that agency that collects the trash or paves the roads. But we do other stuff as well. It's not always so obvious, but we're there. We're trying to be helpful. I'm fascinated by that word that I learned way back in high school science, synergy, which I was explained to me was when you bring things together and they work together so that you get more out of this end product than you could have gotten if you used each component separately. And I know I speak for my colleagues. We are very pleased to have been able to help create that synergistic collaboration that is producing the results we're seeing today. A place where government is causing that synergy, is bringing it forward. So we're pleased to be here today, and we want to congratulate all of you for taking this next step. I do remember way back when I was a county legislator, having discussions with Dr. Amler and others, and we're talking about this, and I'm saying, I don't know if they're ever going to pull this off. This is a very good idea. Any way we can help, but I don't know they're ever going to get there. But as you can see, the dedication and the perseverance and the vision of the leaders that we have here today is moving us forward. And I know I speak for my colleagues. We'll be there working along with you to bring this whole project to fruition. Thank you.
New York Medical College and the County of Westchester have a wonderful relationship that goes back now more than 40 years when New York Medical College moved up to Westchester from New York City with the great encouragement of the County of Westchester. We have enjoyed our location here, and we continue to work very closely with the officials of the County of Westchester in making plans for the proper use of these spaces, of this area, for education, for health, for public welfare. Deputy County Executive Kevin Plunkett is here and has some remarks for us.
Good morning to everyone, and congratulations to Toro College and New York Medical College. I'm joined here today with the legislator from Westchester, whose district this is, Michael Smith. And any day that's a celebration for New York Medical College is a great celebration here in Westchester. We know about the economic opportunities that this BioInc will generate and has generated. We've heard about the great opportunities for science. And it just strikes me how timely today's ribbon cutting is, because as Dr. Kadish said, right across the street in our emergency services building our Commissioner of Health is meeting with emergency room physicians from throughout the county to address what is today's new concern amongst people, and that is Ebola. So an institution like the New York Medical College, the BioInc incubator, is here to help scientists, help people address the real concerns that affect all of us in our quality of life. And for Westchester County to be a partner with our former governor and the team from the state, which we're so proud to be a partner with, and our economic development friends, Marcia Gordon, I saw Marissa Brett. You know, this is partnership, as we heard, and it's a good partnership, and it helps everybody in Westchester County. So we're proud to be part of it. We will continue to be a good partner to the medical college, and we look forward to big successes from BioInc and from this footprint here in Westchester County. Thank you and congratulations to all.
Legislator Smith, were you also going to say a few words? I was hoping
He
that
said
you
he
would.
wasn't, but.
Come on.
Just a few.
Just very quickly, I mean, as a representative of this area, I am thrilled to see the partnership and thrilled to see the leadership that goes on in this building here. And the vision for the school is extraordinary. The economic development, which has been touched on a couple times, is so exciting for this area. There's a book I'm reading now that's called 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, who was one of the original PayPal investors. And he talks about, you know, the concept very quickly being so much of what goes on now is about globalization, taking an existing idea and spreading it throughout the world. What is going to go on in this incubator right here is really the concept of 0 to 1. It's creating the innovative ideas that are going to make world-changing differences. I expect those opportunities to come out of this incubator. It's an exciting time. It's great to have you folks here in Westchester. God bless you. Thank you for all you do.
None of this would be possible, as we've said, without great partnerships all around. Our partnership with Empire State Development has been something that I think if we were accountants, we could book it as an asset, because they have been, the entire staff at Empire State Development has been so helpful, so constructive in their reviews of multiple applications, multiple cycles of CFAs, working with the Regional Economic Development Council, and also working with our own staff in developing budgets and approvals and so forth every step of the way. John Gilstrap, who is Vice President of Empire State Development, has made the trip up from New York City. And Mr. Gilstrap, we hope you'll say a few remarks for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ambler. You stole all my thunder there. I'm actually Executive Vice President of Business Development for New York State. I'm sorry, for Empire State Development. Then, you know, it's one thing to track the progress of this project on paper. You know, you get phone calls, you get updates, how's it going, you check in on stuff. But to actually see it come to fruition is an amazing thing. And I congratulate all of you guys for that heavy lift, because this is a very important project. So congratulations to Dr. Halpern, Ambler, Kadish, and Randy for a great job. You know, actually about 30 minutes down the road in New York City, there's a Life Science 2014 Summit going on, and I'm popping in and out. And there are a bunch of emerging companies there in biotech that are pitching VCs and big pharma for capital. You know, they cover therapeutics, diagnostics, applications, blood work, and imaging, some very exciting companies. So I expect to see a number of companies emerge from here next year for that summit. But I think organizations like this, the BioIncubator, are extremely important to give these businesses, these new businesses, the foundation, the experience to go pitch these guys, because it's a very tough world, but we need emerging companies in this sector, not only for jobs, but for new therapies, new drugs, and new treatments. So I'm very excited to be here today, and thank you for having me. Now, I have a few words that the governor sent last night. So I'll read those to you, and I'll end on those notes. So this is to BioInc at NYMC, a 2012 Mid-Hudson Regional Economic Development Council Priority Award Project winner. I also cover the drone sector, so that may be one of our drones.
I had that.
Yeah. Okay. I got you on tape. I got you. This innovative facility will promote job creation, utilize local resources at New York Medical College, advance the critical and growing biomedical research field, and incubate new startup biomedical companies that will be of great advantage to both new entrepreneurs and existing businesses in the regions. This is an excellent opportunity of a partnership. This is an excellent example, of a partnership between education and business that can only benefit the economic outlook for the Empire State. On behalf of all New Yorkers, I acknowledge the outstanding efforts of everyone who has helped to make this grand opening a reality. You can be justifiably proud of this progressive business resource and your contribution to the creation and support of the next generation of our skilled labor force, new employment opportunities, and the growth of new business ventures in the healthcare industry. With warm regards and best wishes for an enjoyable event, sincerely, Andrew M. Cuomo. Thank you.
I myself would simply like to thank the team members, so many who pulled this together. I cannot possibly mention everybody, but in terms of our sort of internal group here working, beside Les Newman, our newest partner, Randy Schwartz, Gus Stedman, Larissa Reese, Jennifer Rickard, my own support staff, Stefania, Aline, Vilma, thank you all very much. Our legal team, there have been so many that have worked with us, and they're not all here, they couldn't all be here. I also want to thank Westchester Community College, Ann Rubensall, Joe Durago, who have worked with us on the business training aspect of all of this. Finally, Dr. Kadish is going to say another word before we cut the ribbon. Thank you.
So although we still have some technical things to work out, I just wanted to spend a couple of words telling you about some of the kinds of companies we're looking at bringing in here. One is a new technique for wound care that hopefully will dramatically speed recovery from wounds, both for civilians and military personnel. Second company is working on a natural therapy to help chemotherapy-induced vomiting. Third company is working on cardiopulmonary resuscitation. And we have some of our own faculty members who we hope are advancing the work on viral vaccines. So we'll try to make some announcements as soon as we can get through a little bit of the final paperwork, particularly with some of the New York State programs. But I just wanted to give you a flavor of what we're trying to do. We're about to cut the ribbon, and I just have to tell you a brief story about the last ribbon cutting that I attended at Touro. It was with Shelley Berkeley, a former congresswoman from Nevada, who's now our provost of the Western campus at Touro. And as she was preparing with the big scissors, she actually cut the ribbon before the photographers were ready, before the rest of us got there. So Shelley, having spent 14 years in Congress, first thought about an appropriation, but in fact what she then did was tie the ribbon back together and we cut it again. So we're hoping to avoid that today. There are only a limited number of people who can participate in the ribbon cutting, so I want to ask Dr. Halpern to join me, and then Governor Patterson, a professor of health policy at Touro College, to join us as well, since he's the one politician who's not in office or running right now. I feel comfortable that I can have the governor join us without insulting anyone else. Governor, please join me, Dr. Halpern.
Okay, Lori, say when.
Thank you all for attending. I would like to invite you in for tours of the facility and some further refreshments. Thank you.